Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? And welcome to the Smack Raw Podcast NXT recap episode. My name is Vince. I'll be your host today. And today I got my good friend Jay Thunder. What's up, my man?
What's going on, bro? It's good to be back on the show.
Hey, man, it's good to finally get the show up and running. We had a little bit of technical issues. We are like almost 2 hours behind from when we normally record, but I'm just glad we got this going, man. I'm ready to talk some NXT. How about you?
I'm definitely ready. It was
That
definitely a fun night.
For sure. And we want to talk about NXT, but we don't just want to talk about the show amongst ourselves. So make sure you reach out to the show on Twitter at SmackRawPod. Make sure you reach out to me at SCSVince. And you can find Jay Thunder on Twitter and on Instagram at JThunder2009. So go ahead, start up a conversation with us. We're more than happy to go ahead and indulge some of you guys. And make sure that if you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes or whatever like podcast site you're listening to, you give it a download because it really does help out the show. No more plugs. Let's get right into the show. And the show started off pretty good because it had a little bit of the recap of what happened last week, and we get Mauro Ranallo up in like the crow's nest area, and it's good to see him back on NXT. It was kind of weird not listening to him on NXT last week, and it's not the same without Mauro, so it's good that he's better. I'm glad that he's back, and it was a great way to start off the episode. What do you think?
I thought it was pretty good, man. I was happy to hear that, Morrow was doing really good. To hear him speak and, give, that wonderful commentary that he always does. It was pretty good. It felt good.
For sure. And right when he was talking to the audience, you saw Killian Dane make his way into the ring, and he got a mic. He was on the mic, and he was basically calling out the rosters, saying that because he was supposed to have he had a scheduled match with Damian Priest, but he was recovering from the bruised ribs or cracked ribs or whatever he had, and he wasn't cleared to compete. So he came out. He said he still wanted to fight, and he was challenging the locker room. And Pete Dunne came out, and we had a renewal rivalry of Pete Dunne versus Killian Dane. For the most part, I thought it was a good match. The story of the match for me, I don't know if you picked up on this as well, but Killian Dane working on the injured left knee of Pete Dunne, and once he started doing that, it was really mostly a domination on Killian Dane. He basically just dominated Pete Dunne for the majority of this match.
I know for the most part, when it came down to, so you're saying that Killian Dane?
Yeah, because once
was
Killian Dane worked on that left knee, it felt like he was in control and he was dominating most of the match.
Yeah, for the most part, I think. But I think in the beginning of the match, Pete Dunne was actually doing his thing.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
yeah.
to have him working on a body part, he was working on that wrist. So it definitely renewed the fact that he did snap his fingers. So
Yeah, for sure. So, like I was saying, it was a good strong showing for Pete Dunne to start off the match. He started off hot, but like once Killian Dane took control, it was all Killian Dane from there. They got up to the turnbuckle, and I think Killian Dane was trying to set up for that bonsai drop or something. Pete Dunne came in and locked in a sleeper hold, and that was his undoing. I love the ending. I thought the ending was really good because it made Pete Dunne look, still didn't make him look weak, but it set up like a rematch should they go down that line. I think it was a really good, intriguing, and unique way to end the match because, like I was saying, it was Pete Dunne locking in the sleeper hold on Killian Dane, and he made him pass out. He had him fall asleep on him, but once he fell asleep, he fell backwards. The entire body weight, that's a lot of human being right there. That's a lot of body mass that fell on top of Pete Dunne, and he just so happened to fall on the cover. Pete Dunne was knocked out after that fall. 1, 2, 3 for the YouTube audience. You can kind of see it's pretty funny way to end the match, and Killian Dane won and picked up the win against Pete Dunne. What you think of the finish?
for the most part, I thought it was perfect, especially with the situation that happened at War Games.
Mm-hmm.
It worked out. It's worked out so perfect. I love that ending. It was it made everything worthwhile.
Yeah, man. And
However, I will say this: that's a big man falling on Pete Dunne. I'm just saying, Pete Dunne is super super small. I'm just saying, literally, I saw that happening, and literally, I thought to myself, I'm like, are you okay? Like you literally got knocked out, bro.
yeah, man. He was out cold, man. But Pete Dunne, like he'll come back from this. He'll be okay as he normally is. But for right now, it was a nice, strong win for Killian Dane, and let's see where things go from there. Following that, we had a Dakota Kai interview with Kathy Kelly. A couple things that picked up from this interview. She isn't concerned about Tegan Nox because she was asked about her attacking her former partner. She says she isn't concerned about her. Rhea Ripley was brought up, and she was saying that she gave Rhea Ripley exactly what she wanted. Like, you can kind of, like, I guess put a little bit of the blame on Rhea Ripley because she tried to bring this out of Dakota Kai by, just like actions, butterfly effect. If you ever played Until Dawn, you know that, like, for every action there's a reaction and a consequence. Exactly. So you could say that Rhea's actions by not choosing Dakota Kai and Dakota Kai failing to win certain matches has led her down this path. And one of the actions she took was taking out Mia Yim at War Games, which she kind of owned up to. She was speaking to Rhea, and at this point she was saying she was going to take her out just like she took out that hood rat Mia Yim. I know you're a big Mia Yim guy, so what was your take when you heard Dakota call Mia Yim a hood rat?
I was appalled. I was a little hurt because I thought Dakota Kai I thought she was cool. Apparently she's not cool because she want to call people hood rats.
But you know what? I kind of liked it. I mean, I'm not saying I liked it because I agree with her statement. Mia Yim is far from that. But I like that you can tell there's a completely different side to Dakota Kai. She hit this new heel gear, and it's like 100 times better than what she was.
Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, I definitely love the fact that she's this different heel persona. I think it's awesome. Like even from like, well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we get to the actual match. Mm-hmm. But you'll see. We'll get to that. But either way, I thought that her heel promo was awesome.
It was really good. We had the Undisputed Era coming out, and Adam Cole got on the mic, and he had a couple things to say, right? Well, one thing I noticed first off was there was no Bobby Fish, so he's still injured, so that was a legit injury, so hopefully he's okay and is better. And Kyle O'Reilly, I don't know if you noticed this, but he came out wearing Bobby Fish's tag team title, and he was still able to do the air guitar. So he was Kyle Two Belts at last night's tapings. A couple points that Adam Cole did make was saying that November was the month of the Undisputed Era, and that even though the year is over, the prophecy has only just begun. So he's saying that into the year 2020, it will still be the year of Undisputed Era. The prophecy will still continue, even though I know you seem to believe it might be coming to an end. He also calls out Finn Balor, right? So that was the main thing, is that he tried to call out Finn Balor because he thought there was some kind of alliance, and he like turned his back on the Undisputed Era and him specifically, which I never saw that. But I guess, Adam Cole, if that's what you want to tell yourself to make you feel better at night, fine, go ahead and do it, my guy. But he calls out Finn Balor. He doesn't get Finn Balor. Instead, he gets the Limitless One. Keith Lee comes out, and dude, man, I swear, man, ever since he was talking about November was the month of the Undisputed Era. I'm sorry, November and like October were like all Keith Lee. He slowly was built up.
Let me just say something. I don't mean to cut you off, but the Undisputed Era totally forgot that they did lose like 50% of them lost at Survivor Series. Does that not count? I mean,
I think overall, Jay, I think it was more so a statement of saying that they were just very successful in the month of November.
No, they were just very lucky. That's how that happens. When when you're heel, you get lucky because you're sleazy and annoying. But we're not gonna mention the fact that, oh yeah, they did lose,
Right.
but it's all good. It's all good. No worries. No worries. No worries. We're not just gonna put that out there.
Right. Well, what was put out there was Adam Cole basically dubbing Keith Lee a moment maker, saying, and they were kind of mocking him. But yeah, like I noticed, Kyle O'Reilly doesn't usually get on the mic that often, and there was a nice change of pace. I like that he was speaking more, and people just don't realize that he's a good mic guy as well. So it was really good, and I want to see more of that. But Keith Lee was mentioned as a moment maker because he's out here making all these moments. But Keith Lee also said that he's a game changer because he's out here changing the game. And he looks at the Undisputed Era's titles and he's like mean mugging all of them. He's looking at the tag titles. He's looking at the North American title. He's looking at the NXT title. And then they're like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at, Keith? And then Keith's like, I'm just trying to figure out which title I want to take first. And I love that, dude. I love that. Keith Lee, dude, I'm so happy for Keith Lee. I'm so happy to see the success from him. I don't know. It looks like he might be, like, given what happened at the end of the show, he might be going towards a certain direction with the title.
I thought it was a good segment. I definitely thought it was cool. I definitely thought it was just, it was definitely worth the time. Like I enjoyed every single moment of that segment. Like there's nothing I can say about that segment.
Right. And before the segment came to a close, Undisputed Era just decided, you know what? There's three of us. We're just going to go ahead and jump you. Forget you trying to go after us. We're going to go after you. And they go ahead and start jumping him. But, he holds his own. He holds his own. And he forces Undisputed Era to flee the scene. And right when he's about to flee, Tommaso Ciampa comes out from behind, attacks Adam Cole, and tosses him back into the ring. Keith Lee goes to set up and attack Adam Cole with the Spirit Bomb, but before he's able to do so, the rest of the Undisputed Era members come in and try and get him right out of danger, and they take him out. And once in the ring, Tommaso Ciampa goes into the ring. They leave through the crowd. Tommaso Ciampa picks up the NXT title, looks at it, stares Adam Cole down. So Keith Lee wants one of those titles, if not all of them. Just put all the titles in Keith Lee. Let him fulfill the prophecy. But Ciampa also wants the NXT's title, so it doesn't look like Adam Cole has an easy road ahead of him, to say the least. So then we have a Xia Li promo. She's in the back. She's calling out Shayna Baszler for the attack on her last week. It was a nice little promo Xia Li had on Shayna Baszler. But what I was really hyped for was the Kushida video package. They had a whole video package, and he was able to speak from the heart and actually talk about how he got injured because he was in the match with Walter, broke his wrist, and he had to be out for 2 months. He was saying that he was just at home. He was just contemplating the whole thing. It was just very difficult for him. He was portrayed as a family man, which I kind of liked. There was a different side to Kushida that we don't normally see. So after the video package, we did confirm that Kushida will be returning tonight on NXT. So he's going to be returning to action, and we got that match later on. Next up, we had Xia Li versus Shayna Baszler, and I gotta say, to start things off, off the gate, Xia Li came out really strong, and she had the upper hand for the majority of the match up until where Shayna hits the elbow stomp and tried to work on the arm. But even then, Xia Li was still very aggressive. It wasn't until the end where it looks like she almost had me believing that she was going to beat Shayna Baszler because she hit her with a power bomb. Shayna kicks out. She goes for a tornado kick, and she misses. And that's when Shayna locks in the Kurafuda clutch for the win and taps her out. It was a very strong showing for Xia Li.
Me personally, I thought that match was pretty good, especially the fact that they made Xia Li look strong. She definitely needs to look strong, especially because she seemed like she was a threat for Shayna Baszler. Mm-hmm. So, for the most part, I'm happy with how it went down.
Yeah, and especially what I liked is they've accomplished two things. they built up Xia Li as a threat in that women's division, just in general. So I feel like they've raised their power rankings to the point where she can be thrust into an NXT women's title match at any point, and she comes off a little bit believable. Especially the other thing they accomplished was they made her seem, because of her like mixed martial arts background or her karate background, I don't remember which one it is, or martial arts background in general. She started off with strikes and holds, so she was holding her own with Shayna Baszler. And Shayna Baszler is being portrayed recently with this kind of like image of being like vulnerable because people are rising up to the top, and she's no longer this dominant women's champion that she's always been. Yes, she got this win here, but later on you'll see what we're talking about, because she needed help later on in the night. So anything else you can add about this match, Jay?
Let's see.
Because it was a clean win for Shayna Baszler.
It was a clean win. It was a quick match. You know, like I said, I kind of wish that at least, you know, it would have been a little bit longer. But other than that, it was everything that I pretty much imagined.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think it was what it was supposed to do. It accomplished the goal, made Xia Li look strong, even though it was in defeat. Solid match for Shayna Baszler and Xia Li. Another match that looks very solid on paper was Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai. We had a little vignette, like a video package, saying that we're gonna have that match tonight. And I think we go to commercial, and then we come back and we have a Cassius Ohno backstage promo. Like, he's walking.
My boy! I've been waiting to see him forever.
See, here's the thing.
You guys have no idea how much I love seeing Cassius Ohno. I love him to death. Like, I wish they would do something with him so badly. Like, it would be nice. As much as I feel like people don't get behind him much. They know how much like knowledge he has.
Yeah.
So it's like, do something with him. Don't put him on NXT UK. Put him on the main roster of NXT. Have him go against some good guys. At least give him, before he retires, at least give him at least one title run. At least one.
You know what I'd like to see? And I don't know if it happened with Cassius Ohno, but I've always been big on this, is have him debut at the Royal Rumble, have a decent showing, eventually go to whatever show Cesaro's on, and reunite the Kings of Wrestling and be a tag team with Cesaro and win the tag titles.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
That's my so here's the thing, I'm very pessimistic about their booking of Cassius Ohno, and given his age and given like his weight, unfortunately, like Vince McMahon and company, for the most part, they'll see him and they'll be like, oh, he's not believable, even though he is totally believable. And I wouldn't be mad if they put the NXT title on him, but I'm just very pessimistic on that. But however,
mm-hmm. I would, not to burst your bubble or anything like that, but reason why I, don't think that'll probably happen is just because of the fact that Sheamus is coming back.
So Sheamus is coming back, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to reunite with Cesaro and make the bar. They might go ahead and do a singles.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like,
you know what? Just pair them all together. Just pair them all together. Have Cesaro with all his former tag team partners. Have him make a stable with Sheamus, Cassius Ohno, Tyson Kidd. Just for shits and giggles, throw in Natalia in there. Every single tag team partner he's had, just throw them all in there, man. Why not?
Make Tyson Kidd a manager. That'd be great.
Oh yes, as anything to get Tyson Kidd on TV again. Let's go back to Cassius Ohno, because he did come back to TV on NXT TV, and he was here saying that he was like the best UK wrestler. He's the best going there, and he was basically hyping up the Worlds Collide tournament. Pay-per-view or show or whatever that's going to be taking place this Saturday before the Royal Rumble, where it's going to be NXT UK versus NXT Main, I guess. And he was here to challenge someone from NXT main because he's over there dominating and he wants to challenge someone here. So that's what he was here for. Next up, we had a Forgotten Sons match. It was just a quick squash match. Local jobbers, nothing really to see here, folks. Nothing against the guys. It's just like I don't really care. And it was just a squash match. Nothing really happened here. Next up, this was really good. So Dakota Kai comes out, but like here's the thing: they don't start playing her music. They start playing like the video package in black and white of her heel turn attacking Tegan Nox at War Games, and then her music starts playing, and they let the whole like heel turn like attack play throughout the entire entrance on loop. So her Titantron was legit just her attacking Tegan Nox. My God, I love that. That was amazing heel work.
It was beautiful. I mean, like, yeah, it was a little disturbing for people, but I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, and she's still coming out to the ring with Tegan Nox's knee brace, so they're setting up that match. I think they're just keeping Tegan Nox off of TV to sell the attack and the injury, and for the moment she's gonna do some other stuff. But man, that match, dude, Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai has potential to be Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens good, has potential to be Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa good. That's how good this feud can be. That's how hyped and geeked I am for this feud and this heel turn by Dakota Kai. I cannot wait. It's going to make both of those girls bigger stars than they already are. I love it. So she goes ahead. She makes her entrance. Loved every bit of it. Rhea Ripley comes out, but she gets on the mic and she kind of gives Dakota Kai props for how she set up Team Rhea Ripley for failure at War Games, and she commends her for that. She's like, okay, good on you, that's fine, but I have a setup for you too. And out comes Mia Yim with like the most fierce attitude, man.
Get out.
She came out and she was ready to go. She came out, she was ready to square up, and she had a nice little brawl with Dakota Kai. She hits like that running big boot in the corner at one point. It spills to the outside. It carries all the way into the crowd, and they go to the backstage area. So we actually don't see that brawl end. That leaves Rhea Ripley alone, and she's out there. She's admiring her handiwork. She's like, okay, you do you, Mia. She out here like, that's what's up. I'm proud of what I did just there. But the Horsewomen, that's when the Horsewomen's music come out. They come out and attack Rhea Ripley. And at one point, she tries to lock in the Crucifixion clutch on Rhea Ripley. She fights out. She fights. They eventually get to like the ring ropes, and the other Horsewomen hold down Rhea's hands as Shayna Baszler is locking in the Crucifixion clutch. As you can see on the YouTube version right here, like, that shit looked nasty. It looked vicious.
I love the work that Shayna's doing. I really do. But I also really need for them to make the Rhea look stronger around Shayna.
I mean, for the most part, I think they've done that. I mean, at some point, the numbers game does have to catch up. You can't have like Shayna look weak all the time because she did take the loss to her at War Games. So I think today is fine because like the way they set it up, it took 3 women to take down Rhea Ripley. So that was the way they were selling the whole attack.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's just my kid face coming in. Like, I really didn't want Shayna Baszler off on that on that segment. Like, I really wanted Rhea to I wanted a feel good moment for Rhea. Like, I guess it's because I'm so tired of seeing Shayna Baszler, even though she's great. She is. I'm just tired of seeing her. It's just kind of like how you're tired of seeing, like, how people are tired of seeing Becky, even though she's great. But at the same time, I think we're tired. I think it's starting to wear off.
After the attack, Shayna Baszler got on the mic. She was basically saying like, "Oh, you wanted a title match? Be careful what you wish for, because I want a title match too." And she says, "December 18th, you and me for the title." So she was basically saying like that Rhea bit off way more than she can chew. That she's not ready for Shayna Baszler. So in 2 weeks' time, we're gonna have Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Title, and I cannot be more geeked. So that was the payoff with that. We had Kathy Kelly interviewing Tommaso Ciampa and Keith Lee, and they were saying that the main event was going to be Undisputed Era versus Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa and the partner of the choosing. this felt like deja vu, and I liked that Tommaso Ciampa kind of like made reference to it and said, yeah, this feels like deja vu, but the difference now is that we know who our partner's going to be. Walks in Dijakovic, and we have our main events. Following this, we had a Finn Balor interview, not interview, but a video package, and he was more or less just saying the same stuff, like his future will be his past. He was saying that everybody's here so proud to wave the NXT flag, but without him, there would be no NXT flag to wave. That basically the success of NXT right now is all due to him, all thanks to him. Everybody wanted a piece of the prince. Adam Cole, checkmate. I thought it was a solid promo. I think it did what it was supposed to.
I thought it was amazing. I thought that promo was like it for me. I was like, go ahead, Finn, with your badass.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, Finn. Like, let everybody know the prince is in the building. Let everybody know. Like, I was with it.
Yeah,
I was with every single moment of it. It was like, I like this dynamic that they got Finn Balor on, especially for NXT, because it is beautiful. I think it's a breath of fresh air for me. He's not with anybody. It just works perfectly for me.
Yeah, I kind of like that he's his own like lone wolf kind of character, where he's out here like by himself. It's Finn, and he only cares about Finn. I think it's perfect. I think it fits. So we go to commercial. We come back and we have another video package. This time for Isaiah Swerve Scott, saying this is his house. So next, Swerve. Next we have the Cassius Ohno match. He comes out with a all yellow T-shirt with that reads "Wrestling Genius Cassius Ohno." I loved it. Cassius Ohno is a great heel. He was amazing.
That man is awesome. I love it. I love me some Cassius Ohno. That is beautiful to me.
The guy that picks up the challenge and goes out to face Cassius Ohno is none other than the original bro, Matt Riddle. And I love this for two reasons. One, they have history with each other, and so they go way back. And number two, you're a big Cassius Ohno fan, but you're not the biggest Matt Riddle fan. And I know for the most part, a lot of people are on Matt Riddle's side in this feud. I really want to talk to you about this, because I never talked to you about the Cassius Ohno feud. Given that you're such a big Cassius Ohno fan, and you're not like the biggest Matt Riddle guy, what you think of the match? What you think of their past feud and like their feud in this match?
So with the match, I enjoyed every bit of this match. I was hoping that they would have gave Cassius Ohno the win, because to be quite honest with you, Matt Riddle didn't need that win whatsoever. He really didn't. But like the feud, I thought the feud was awesome. I also thought that, the fact that he was able to give Cassius Ohno a power bomb was a little bit far fetched, but
I think you think that with Matt Riddle in general. I think you just don't think he should be able to power bomb big guys. Period.
I mean, but am I wrong though? That's what I'm saying.
I just think he's stronger than he looks.
I know he's stronger than he looks, but this is we're being realistic here, okay? Cassius Ohno is a big dude. I'm just saying. He's a big dude.
So the thing I really liked about this match is that it came off like two wrestlers, and it felt like two wrestlers that really knew each other and were out here countering each other's moves.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. I loved every counter. It was left and right, and I enjoyed everything.
It was so good. And so going into it, it was 3-0 in Matt Riddle's favor. But this time, like fourth match in, it really looked like Cassius Ohno knew what Matt Riddle was going to try to hit. Unfortunately, he couldn't prevent the final flash knee strike. He goes to hit the floating bro. I thought it was finished right then and there. He gets the 2 count only. It was a near finish, but not too long following that, he hits a jumping knee strike, almost like a V trigger. Hits the bro Derek for the win. 1, 2, 3 for the original bro Matt Riddle. He is now 4-0 against Cassius Ohno, bro. What do you think that there's going to be more legs? Do you think we're going to see this feud continue, or do you think it was just more of a one-off thing and just a quick win for Matt Riddle?
I feel like it's gonna be a one-off thing. Like, I feel like this probably won't happen again.
Right.
Like I would have loved for it to, be a thing. Uh, I just hate the fact that, like I said, I just would have rather it been a little bit longer because
Yeah.
I enjoyed the match, even though, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Matt Riddle. He's okay. I would have rather have a good match, and then especially considering the fact that this is the first time we've seen Cassius Ohno on screen and like how long, it would have been nice for him to at least get like a win. But now he just came back and he just took a L.
Right.
Like,
I mean, kudos to Cassius Ohno, man. He's a consummate professional. I can't say enough good things about him. Like I would like I stated before, I would have loved to see him get a little bit more success. I want to see more Cassius Ohno. Unfortunately, he's on NXT UK, and I don't really watch it. But we have to move along, so we can't sit here and talk about NXT UK. Next we go to commercial. NXT return of Kushida will be next, but before we do, we get a video package saying that the NXT year-end awards are coming back, and the voting was going to be open later on in the night. So vote for your favorite superstars. They also had a repack package, like a recap of the Rhea Ripley attack. And in 2 weeks' time, we are indeed going to get Shayna Baszler versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's title. That's going to be dope. I love that we get these title matches and these big NXT TakeOver level matches on a weekly television now. I don't know. I'm happy for it. I'm glad. And it's good because you don't really see that on SmackDown or Raw where and we have a title match. It's usually when we need ratings or whatever. There's like issues with that they'll do like an impromptu. Like they never announce stuff in advance. They never hype up title matches on Raw or SmackDown. Usually it's just impromptu last minute match. And I love that NXT, usually for the most part, they will sit here and build up the match. If they don't announce it 2 weeks in advance, they set up the feud and then make it obvious that it's going to happen. So that's happening in 2 weeks time. What's happening right tonight, what we had going on right away, Kushida made his triumphant return to Full Sail University after that 2-month hiatus. Couldn't be happier for the guy. I haven't really talked to you about Kushida. What do you think of Kushida? Have you seen much of his work?
When I started rewatching NXT, because those of you guys do know that I'm an indie wrestler, so I don't usually too much watch the product because of the fact that I'm always doing it, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started coming in for the podcast, this is when I actually started watching NXT, and that's when I saw Kushida, and I was actually quite intrigued about him. I thought it was a good thing. I enjoyed every moment of it.
Okay.
I love his energy. I love his nice little his attire. I definitely love it. I think it's fun.
And dude, here's the big thing with Kushida is that he's the biggest, if not the most well-known junior heavyweights in New Japan history. He's up there. The best way I can compare him in terms of how big he was in New Japan and how big of a signing this was for NXT. Think of Rey Mysterio debuting on SmackDown. That's how big he was for New Japan.
So you mean back in 2002?
Yeah, back in 2002 when he showed up, 2002 or 2003, whichever it was, but when he first made his debut against Chavo on SmackDown, and he came back with the mask, that's how big this Kushida signing is. He legit can get to Rey Mysterio levels.
Oh man, that's pretty big.
Kushida is a big Japanese name. Rey Mysterio is a big Mexican Latino name. And Kushida was set to take on another Latino, another Mexican, and Raul Mendoza. He comes out. I was hyped because I love me some Raul Mendoza. I don't get him enough on TV, but we couldn't get the match going.
Is that a Hispanic thing, bro? Because I think you just like every Hispanic wrestler.
I don't fuck with Alberto Del Rio though.
Really?
No, I don't stand. We don't.
What?
Yeah.
You don't claim him?
We don't claim Alberto. I don't claim
Wow.
Alberto Del Rio. Yeah, I
What
don't.
about Sin Cara?
I love me some
Sin
Sin Cara.
Cara.
I love me Sin Cara.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm just surprised. Like I said, I'm just surprised that you like Del Rio's pretty dope. Like I think he's pretty dope. Well, I guess it just I like his character sometimes.
right. I mean,
I don't know about him as a person, so.
I mean, not to get into it, but it's mostly I don't claim him because of the person that he is outside of the ring. That's the only reason why. And it's more so it's been like his recent stuff he's been doing, but that's neither here nor there. Because I do claim Raul Mendoza. Unfortunately, he wasn't gonna have this match because he was set to take on Kushida, and he gets like double like moon stomped by Cameron Grimes, and he says, "Kushida, you're facing me now." So we had a change of match. It turned out to be Kushida versus Cameron Grimes, and I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was solid.
It was
overall,
it really was.
Overall, it was really good. And again, without getting too much into the match, I mean, like, go back and watch it. It was really, really good. I'm not trying to undersell, not really trying to undersell it, but it was at the end. It was a roll-up victory by Kushida. Cameron Grimes looked surprised and shocked to have lost, so it was a protected loss for Cameron Grimes. I think he's not at the level where he needs to be protected too hard, so it wasn't a bad loss. I kind of knew from the get-go. I wasn't paying too much. I was into the match because I knew it was Kushida's return match, and you can't come in your return match and lose. So I knew he was going to come back here and pick up a win, which he did. So Kushida stands tall, and maybe we have a feud going forward with Cameron Grimes and Kushida. We'll see what happens, man. But next up, we have our main event that gets announced. We are going to have Dijakovic, Ciampa, Keith Lee taking on Undisputed Era. That's coming up next. We go into commercial. Coming back from commercial, we get confirmed.
Well, hold on just a second before you get into it. Just a little point that out there. I love Kushida's entrance so much. It is awesome. and I'll stop right there. There's just that. Like, I love his entrance. Like, he's the Japanese Marty McFly. Jesus, I love it.
Yeah, man, it's really good. I mean, that's part of the allure that I had about Kushida, because when I saw him in New Japan, I saw his entrance. By the way, I'll send it to you later, but like, his New Japan theme is freaking amazing. And then he's a great in-ring wrestler, and like I said, sky's the limit for Kushida. I can see him be an NXT champion. But let's go into the main
event. NXT champion. I think they could probably like do. He could eventually win the cruiserweight title. I think there are possibilities for that man.
He can win every title that's on NXT minus
he really could.
Yeah,
he really could.
And I think he's one of those guys where I don't want to see him on Raw or SmackDown. I want him to see him stay on NXT.
He needs to stay on NXT.
Yeah, for sure. So
but continue. I'm my bad for, No,
it's fine. No worries. Like any Kushida praise, I will be here for it, man. That's cool. But that's actually a good segue though, because you were talking about him winning the titles. You were saying maybe the cruiserweight title. We are going to get a Cruiserweight Championship match next week, because we had a bit of a video package of the feud between Garza and Rush, and I'm really loving this freaking feud, dude. It's like so good. I love Lio Rush. I love Garza. So next week, Garza, Lio Rush, Cruiserweight title. That looks stacked. That looks like...
I feel like it's going to be a great match. The first one was... Because is this the second one?
So this is their second match, because in their first match, Lio Rush won, but Garza had his foot on the rope.
Had his foot on the rope. I don't know if you guys saw that match, but Lio moved the leg
after the fact,
like as soon as the 3 count came through. So.
Mm-hmm. So. Angel Garza's been petitioning on social media and on NXT TV to get his rematch, and he's finally going to get it. What we're also going to get next week, we're going to get that brawl continue. We're going to have Mia Yim versus Dakota Kai next week, and man, dude, 2 good matches already on NXT TV next week. I cannot wait. Yeah, so we have those 2 matches. We have, in 2 weeks' time, we have Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler, but we got our main event. We have Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dijakovic versus Undisputed Era. And the one thing that I can say about this is that it felt like a WWE 2K style match with a lot of fast pace and a lot of big spots, a lot of big moves. I'm not saying in a bad way, because obviously they came into this match with like maybe like 8 minutes left on the show, and they usually go with like 7 or 8 or 9 minutes of overrun time. So they had maybe like 15 to 17 minutes to work with. So they were it just legit felt like very fast paced, a lot of big matches, big spots. Everybody got their stuff in. What you thought about it? Because I know you're an indie wrestler. What you thought of the match?
Well, I mean, for the most part, since we've already seen, here's where I make the exception. The only reason why I say it, it's cool that this match happened the way it is. One, because of time, and two, because of the fact that like we've already seen this match.
Yeah, we've already seen
Like
it.
we've already seen it. We saw it at War Games. So, I mean, we saw it at War Games. We got a piece of it at pretty much at Survivor Series.
Last week we had Dijak and Lee taking on Roderick Strong and Kyle
Exactly.
O'Reilly. So we seen this match. We've seen the combination of all these wrestlers mix it up before. Dude, like the one spot that I gotta like point out is that springboard corkscrew plancha that Dijak hits on everybody. I freaking love Dijak. I know I'm skipping a couple stuff because I had to look down and take some notes, and I had to set up for the stream, so I wasn't paying attention to how we got there. But at some point, Finn Balor comes in, and he drop kicks Adam Cole, who at this point is in the middle between who's in front of the ref and everybody else. So he drop kicks Adam Cole. He's attacking everybody, so everybody's laid out, and he goes and targets everyone. He grabs Tommaso Ciampa, hits the 1916, who I gotta say has looked worse and worse every week. It's transitioned from being the 1916 to basically being more of the execution, just like you were saying. So it's starting to look more and more like the Impaler DDT as opposed to the 1960 or Bloody Sunday that he used to use. I'm gonna show you like a side to side comparison, and you're gonna be like, okay, see, that's two different moves. Now, because I don't know.
Yeah. I was about to say, I was like, because it like all it does is remind me of the execution of the Impaler DDT. That like literally what it
Exactly.
because or like kind of like it kind of looks a modified Brain Buster.
Right. So that's what it looks like now. So a big thing to note here was that he did kick Adam Cole, and that did take out the refs, but the match is still going on. So he's out here attacking Ciampa, attacking Cole, but like the match is still going. So no DQ yet. So that's what I was thinking initially.
So he literally what winds up happening is he hits Ciampa with the 1916. He's literally about to shotgun drop kick Adam Cole, not realizing there's a big dude behind him.
I love that, dude. That was so good.
I was like, you ever notice that moment where like you're literally sitting there and you're looking at a person. I'm like, yo, dude, there's
sure. Yeah. It's a spot where we're just like looking at people in front of you, and they're like making faces, and you're like, he's right behind me, isn't he?
Like, dude, he's right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, he's right behind me.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yep.
It was so good. It was so good. So he goes out there and he destroys Finn Balor, as he should. Like, because I love Finn Balor and he's great as a heel, but he should not be able to go toe to toe with Keith Lee.
I was about to say, I was like, he should have gotten his ass whooped.
Yeah.
And I was cool with that. Like, that was perfect for me. I enjoyed every moment of that.
Yeah, so he takes out Finn Balor, and Adam Cole tries to use that as the opportunity to take him out. He
it's a super kick.
Yeah, he pulls down his knee brace to try to set up for the last call. Reversed by Keith Lee. I don't know what his finisher is called, but he hits his finisher nonetheless. 1, 2, 3 on Adam Cole. Keith Lee has pinned our NXT champion.
Our NXT champion.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Oh snap. It's about to happen, y'all. It's about to happen. You know what's going down?
All
Keith
right.
Lee is about to become a champion somehow, some way.
Okay, so early on in the night, he was staring down all three members of the Undisputed Era, trying to figure out which title he want to take first. It looks like the path is being cleared for him to go and challenge for the NXT title. William Regal comes out after the whole chaos that's going
My
on.
boy Sir William,
Mr. Regal himself came out and said, "That's it. That's it. The NXT title match is set for 2 weeks time at on December 18th, which is the same NXT episode that the NXT Women's title is going to be defended on." But he said that to determine the number one contender, it's going to be Finn Balor. Finn Balor smirks. He's grinning. Tommaso Ciampa, and then Finn Balor like gets like a frown, like his like smile completely goes away, and then he says Keith freaking Lee, and at that point Ciampa's like has his neck. He's like realizing he's like, damn. In the process of
exactly.
this, in the process,
it was like,
dude, Finn knew he's like, damn, Keith Lee's in it, but Ciampa had almost like this moment of realization that he created this force of nature throughout this month of November. It was Keith Lee that was on the side of Tommaso Ciampa. He almost kind of like helped elevate Keith Lee, and he knows how much of a dangerous force he is now. And it almost was like, damn, I'm probably not gonna get Goldie back. This is gonna be a lot harder than I thought it was. So overall, I love it. So next week, what an episode of NXT we got to look forward to next week. We have Mia Yim versus Dakota Kai. We have the NXT Cruiserweight title match between Angel Garza, Lio Rush. We have the triple threat match, which is probably going to be the main event. Keith Lee, Ciampa, Finn Balor. Oh my gosh, dude. I know we're done talking about this NXT, but I am so geeked for next week, dude. You have no idea.
I'm definitely stoked for this in general. Like NXT, like you guys don't realize that, like, with watching NXT now, it's exciting to know that, you know, all of this is happening and all of this fun stuff is going on. Like all the matches are just,
it's so
like,
dope.
it's literally just a never ending, you know, like there's never a dull moment on NXT. I'm just saying.
I mean, unless you put the Forgotten Sons on the match.
They can stay forgotten.
Okay, so before we wrap up the episode, any last things you want to say? Because the one thing I want to add about Keith Lee is that I think he's probably going to win the triple threat match next week, and I don't think he was supposed to be lined up to be in that NXT title feud. But it was his great work. It was how he was with the fans, not only in Full Sail but on the main roster, that opened up the eyes of Triple H and the NXT people. Because it looked like they were setting up Dijak and Keith Lee to be a tag team to take on Undisputed Era, but now it's looking like Ciampa might be going into a thing with Finn, and Keith Lee is going to go into a thing with Adam Cole. Whether he takes the title off of Adam Cole or not, we don't know. But what I love about this is that you, for the longest, have been saying that the prophecy isn't going to be fulfilled for much longer. Eventually, those titles are going to come off from the Undisputed Era one by one. We've already seen Bobby Fish get an injury, so it looks like the NXT tag titles are in jeopardy. Like, at some point, Velveteen Dream is going to come back, and he's coming for that North American title. And now Keith Lee, of all people, your boy Keith Lee, my boy Keith Lee. How sweet would it be if Keith Lee is the one that ruins the prophecy of the NXT champion Adam Cole?
I mean, I definitely think it would be a feel-good moment. It definitely would be a feel-good moment, man. Like, you realize, like, how long, you know, Keith Lee's been working his butt off, you know, from being to the Indies, to being in Evolve, to working his way to NXT. For him to have, like, a title shot would definitely be, like, awesome. Like, I definitely would hope that would happen. Like, he's worked his ass off to get where he is.
Yeah,
and,
man.
you know, I feel like it'll pay off. Like, it should pay off.
Yeah, man.
Now, I will say this, a couple things. Let me add to, you know, this whole NXT setup here. So, I will say this: I thought that it seemed a little weird to have them in this 6-man tag team match. This 6-man tag team, yeah. In the 6-man tag team match, because literally I thought that was a setup like maybe Dijakovic might have turned heel,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm glad it didn't happen that way. Everything worked out so much perfectly. Another thing, Mia Yim is Bay. So I don't need to say too much of anything. It's good to see her back. And, it was good to see Cassius Ono. Oh my God. Like that was after a while when you wait so long for a superstar to come back. It was definitely, especially Kushida too. It was good to see him back too, to see, the good match that he had with Cameron Grimes. It was actually a really good, solid episode of NXT. You know,
It was an episode of returns. But with that being said, this has been the Smack Raw podcast. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Later, y'all.